Good day, everybody. It's Max, and welcome to Tile City's Tips and Tutorial. That's right. And in today's tips tutorial, we're going to talk about pieces, placement, and perfect ratios. You betcha. And we want to get you the best score going. Of course, the better the city, the better the score. Let's have a look at how we can achieve that. Before talking about pieces, placement, and perfect ratios, let's talk about the game itself. The game itself is actually very simplistic. It's a Tetris style type game where you take shapes of pieces and then you connect them together. And as you do, you will build what appears to be an overall city. Now, unlike Tetris, we're not trying to put these pieces together perfectly every single time. And in fact, that's going to be one of our 3 Ps that we talk about here in a little bit. But let's talk about the other goal of the game. So down in the lower left-hand corner, you're going to see a rectangular box with 4 colors. Those colors represent residential, commercial, industrial, and parks. And of course, those colors, as you put pieces down, will increase or decrease in that box. So basically, the 4 lines represent the need of things. And obviously, if the line is getting higher and higher, there's more of a need for that particular junction. Now, let's talk about junctions for a second. So how do we reduce the need to make sure it doesn't reach the end? Because if it reaches the end, it's game over. And as you can see, I have 2 lines here, both orange and purple, that are getting pretty close to the end, and it's a little concerning. So in this case, as you put pieces down or you join pieces to other pieces, you will notice colors that happen. Okay, so in this case, if I try to put this square piece here, you will notice I get a color, 2 purple circles, 2 blue circles, and 2 green circles. Now that means that it's going to subtract those totals from the count box down below. So you'll now notice that purple is reduced by 2, blue is reduced by 2, and green is reduced by 2. Okay, as I keep putting the piece into the corner, you'll see that. But you'll notice that orange increases by 1. Okay, and that's because we are not eliminating any orange pieces here, because as you can see, there's no orange around this area to match with. What's going to happen is it's going to add 1 more orange block, and it adds a block for each non-match that you're getting. Now, the other thing, of course, is one of our 3 Ps, which we'll talk more detail here shortly. But when you put a block inside of surrounding blocks, it's called a perfect fit. Perfect fit does 2 things. 1, any dots that you get to eliminate, obviously, are eliminated just like before. But second, perfect fit charges you no penalty. So in this case, you'll notice if I go to put this block in this perfect fit area, not only are we not being charged, but we're being reduced orange, purple, and green. So that, of course, is perfect fit. Perfect fit is great, but that's kind of the challenge. If you were to play it truly like Tetris, you would always be putting the pieces together and never leaving yourself opportunity for this. So now this is where we want to talk about the 3 Ps of piece ratios, placement, and perfect fit ratios. So let's now switch over and do that. All right, so here we are in a brand new game, and the first thing we want to deal with is piece ratios. Now, as you see here, we have a square, and we also have a rectangle. These are what I call even piece ratios, right? So the square is 2 by 2. The rectangle is 1 by 2. It's a perfect fit, right? Well, it's not a perfect fit. Don't let's not confuse the terms. They're perfect, nice pieces, right? They'll work together. They'll actually be quite nice to work with. Overall, these pieces are usually pretty straightforward. So let's place this first piece. And we've got our first piece placed. And we'll keep placing pieces. Again, this is a 1, 1, 1, 1. It's a nice piece ratio. Okay. And of course, we have another nice piece ratio here. Okay. Look at that. That's the way it should be, shouldn't it? Now, you're probably looking at that triangle thinking, oh, well, that's terrible. No. This too is a nice piece ratio. And of course, up to this point, I've been just placing the blocks together like a Tetris game. And this is not good, actually. Okay. We're going to change that pattern here shortly. But in this particular case, this is still what I would call a nice ratio of a piece. It's a 1-1-1 triangle, which means it will fit into a lot of spaces. Okay, and we like that. we like stuff that fits into spaces. Fitting in the spaces is always good. So we're gonna put that up there. And now again, you may think, oh, well, this is a terrible piece. No, it is still a nice piece ratio. So in this case, it is 1/2. It is missing a triangle out of its corner, but that triangle is a perfect piece ratio of 1-1-1. What I talk about when it's not a perfect ratio are things like 2-1 or 3-1 triangles, or like octagons, which will happen. Okay, that is coming up, I'm sure. So let's yep, that's gonna happen, and we'll have to deal with it soon enough. Okay. So what I'm now doing is I'm kind of going a little off the beaten path. Right? And you're like, well, why are we doing that? Well, because we are trying to prepare a little bit for the future. This is where we want to talk about creating yourself opportunity in placement. Now, we are working with the 3 P's of perfect ratios, placement, and piece ratio. So, of course, we're still getting some really nice pieces. We haven't gotten an ugly piece yet. At the same time, what we're doing is we're preparing ourselves some opportunity. Okay, an opportunity knocks every once in a while, and you've got to take advantage of it. Okay, where do we want to put that piece? Let's put that around here. Yes. Yeah. Okay, let's do that. Okay, here we have our first non-nice ratio piece. Now, the way I will usually do this is that now that we've got a little bit of a base going on, now I will start to work with my perfect ratio pieces towards the left, and now my non-perfect ratio pieces towards the right. Okay, so we're going to put that piece over here. Now, we're doing 2 things with that piece. The first thing I did with that piece is I've created myself a hollow place. Okay, and if you were playing Tetris, this would be terrible. But playing this game, this is actually not bad because we want to use these for perfect fit areas. Okay, now, of course, we've gotten ourselves another ugly piece, and we're just going to put that on top for now. And then, of course, this is an ugly piece, so we're just going to put it up here. Okay, now we're getting back into some nice, some somewhat decent pieces. And we're going to get ready to... let's see, where would we like to put this? Let's put this. Should we do it up here? Let's go for here. Now, as you can see in the lower left-hand corner, we have been collecting blocks, right? And of course, that's going to happen no matter what. But what we want to do is early in the game especially, we're trying to set ourselves up for some of these hollow areas while we have low block counts. Now that we're getting over 50% in one of our colors, this will be one of the last pieces I probably do before trying to focus on trying to start reducing numbers. Now, in this case, I've gotten a piece. It's a nice perfect ratio piece. This case, though, it has no color in it. Okay, so pieces that have no color, so you'll notice like this rectangle here has no color, this square down here has no color. Pieces with no color, when you do get a piece with a color, so you'll notice here, if I put this triangle up against this rectangle, nothing happens, and we're going to get charged 4 blocks. Okay, if I put this piece up against something with a color, we are now going to get a reduction of 2 colors. Now, the reason that is, of course, is that this particular piece has nothing in it. The 2 colors can now subtract themselves on this piece. Okay, but purple is actually my bigger concern here at the moment, so I'm actually going to put this piece up here. And, of course, what we're going to get is a reduction of 1 orange, 1 purple, we're going to get charged a blue and a green because this is not a perfect fit piece. So obviously it isn't totally surrounded, but we are going to get a reduction on that purple and orange because this piece has no colors in it, and the piece we're putting it up against has an orange and purple in it. Okay. Let's see. Well, well, we like that for the blue and green reduction, but it does add back on to our purple, which is a little concerning. You know, it would be nice if it didn't, but at the same time, not really a good spot. Now, I'll tell you why it's not a great spot for this piece. This piece has an orange piece in it, but the pieces surrounding this piece also have orange pieces, which means they can't subtract themselves. They can't cancel each other out. So basically, the piece I'm putting in, plus the two pieces surrounding it, can't subtract anything, okay? That's why it's not a great place to put that piece. Now, you'll notice here we have this rectangle up here. One, it's not a great place to put this because we're kind of hoping for a perfect piece on this, but two, it too is surrounded by orange blocks. In fact, I have multiple orange blocks going on here, which is a little scary, actually. So we're actually going to take this piece, and I think what we're going to do is we're going to try. I think we're going to try to use the piece. And you'll have discussions like this with yourself all the time. So, okay. Now this piece has nothing in it, so we can get a reduction here. Perfect fit, as you can see. We like that. We like perfect fit. And as well, we're going to get a reduction. So we're going to get nothing counted against us and a reduction of orange and purple by 1. All right, so we'll take that piece. Now, these are metro stations. Now, I haven't really been paying too much attention to metro stations, but this is where we'll talk about them now. Metro stations, of course, what they'll do is they'll send out little red trains on any block that has a red line on it. And you'll notice that most of these blocks I've placed at this point are connected together. And there is an achievement that if you can get 10 metro stations connected together on a single line, you do get an achievement for it. So in this particular case, I can do this, and this will put on my first metro station. It's going to be a perfect fit. Plus, we're going to get a reduction on blue and orange. So we'll take it. So in this particular case, we got a park. I'm going to create myself an opportunity up here. Now, nice to see a purple piece come into play. This is actually a really, really nice thing. But it's almost too nice, and I'll explain why. We're going to get rid of 2 purple, 2 orange, and a green, okay? But we only have 1 purple, and it's a perfect fit. Or 1 orange, and it's a perfect fit. And it's almost a waste. Meanwhile, over here, we're going to get rid of 2 purple and orange. True, we don't get rid of the green. And it's not a perfect fit. That being said, sometimes that might not be a bad thing. Okay, but you got to make decisions. Oh well, now see, this is really nice because we're going to get rid of 2 purple, a blue, and an orange. Now, this is a much better fit, so we're going to take that. Now, you may think that this triangle here is not a good deal, but it's a perfect ratio triangle, right? It's a 2-2-2 triangle. So, again, it will stay to my left. It will probably stay to my left, and I'm going to start heading downwards with this one. So, my squares and rectangles, I tend to go upper left. Perfect ratio triangles, I tend to go lower left, and then non-perfect pieces, upper and lower right. And you'll see different pieces come up, and you'll understand why I go upper right with some pieces like these shapes here, and then you'll get some other shapes that I'll start going down lower right for. Now, the reason that is because it's a lot easier to take perfect ratio pieces or even ratio pieces and squeeze them into areas that are non-perfect ratios. So like me putting this triangle starting to head down this way, well, it's still a lot easier for me to make blocks like this, okay, which is actually good. So in this particular case, we're going to work with these triangles going down this way. All right, so let's carry on. Again, this doesn't look good, but we are trying to create opportunities for ourselves, right? Now we have here, wow, that's a really nice, see, this is a really nice piece, right? So this piece I'm holding is a blank piece, and this blank piece, of course, has multiple blocks surrounding it that it's going to take a subtraction from, which is really, really nice. And you know what? I think we're going to take this one just because we're keeping an eye on that green, and we don't want it getting too high, right? And of course, we got another opportunity here for the same deal, and let's take that. Now, this is a non-perfect ratio piece. And it's too bad it wasn't shaped the other way, because that would actually fit in there and then made a nice square for me. I would have been really happy about that. But in this case, we're going to put that over there. And of course, this too is not a perfect piece. As you can see, it's got the quirky ratio. It's not pretty. It's just not pretty. And what are we going to do with this? Gee. All right, we'll put it out there for now. We'll give that. Okay, so now we're getting into some big pieces. I'm never big on the big pieces. I'm not a lover of the big pieces, but it is what it is. We got to deal with them sometimes. Okay, so we're gonna get a little bit of reduction in here, and oh yeah, of course, that's actually okay. This is a purple piece. We're gonna get a trade-off. I am a little concerned about the parks, and I haven't really got any parks surrounded up here yet. So maybe we do this little maneuver. Yeah, I think so. And there's what I'm looking for a triangle to try and even some of this up over here. We'll do that. It's too bad I can't really use that triangle somewhere else, because that would have been actually quite nice to use in another location. We're going to get a purple and green here, and we're going to take an advantage of, let's see, we got a purple and green here. We got orange and blue here. Well, what do we get up here? Wow, look at that. Now this is what we've been waiting for, right? So this piece has a blue piece in it. We're surrounded by purple, orange. All right. So look at the reduction we're going to get here. So our blue line down in the lower left-hand corner is going from what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10? 10 to 3. We're getting this is a beautiful fit. There you go. And that is what the game is all about. The game is all about creating yourselves perfect pieces. All right. Well, you don't get to create the perfect pieces, but then you want to take those pieces and, watching placement, create perfect ratio or perfect placement ratios. So, like, we've put this park down, and now we've created an opportunity to put in a perfect piece. We've got perfect piece opportunities there. And though this is not going to be a shape that happens, it's a shape that we can turn into a perfect piece placement in a little bit. And that's what we do. We just keep working on places like that. I'm Max. This, of course, has been Tile Cities. And, of course, you want to watch out for those piece ratios. Keep the nice pieces off to your left. Take the not so nice pieces off to the right. But when you're getting good pieces, keep an eye out on the opportunity to use them on the right to complete blocks, such as this, right? So this is an opportunity where I might be able to clean this up, this triangle up a little bit, right? And I can come back to that in a bit. And then, of course, at the same time, keep an eye on your placement. Kind of do it in a 4-quadrant pattern where you want to kind of keep perfect squares up here. Work your way down here with perfect triangles, and then use perfect squares to fill in holes. And then, of course, you have your non-perfect pieces on this side. And I will see you on the next tips and tutorial. Take care.